Philip, I am from Luxembourg, as you might know by now. And I have a little paper here because Moses didn't know his 10 commands by heart either. So today I'm going to talk you through what it means to be a parasite, although some of you might already know. It's not just little wormy things which live in or around your anus, but it's many of them, I think, but it's... I want to start this with a more general definition. So a parasite is anyone who lives off the resources of somebody else, but without contributing any costs. And as such, being a parasite is pretty much a lifestyle, just like having dental insurance or being a scientist. So, as we all know, people can be parasites. There are those people that drink an extra lot of coffee at work just because it's free. Yeah. There's those people that keep their biggest shit for until they go into the restaurant. Where there's an extra lot of paper and they wipe their ass twice as much until it bleeds. It even goes into arts, where there's people that produce paintings called white canvas, or even worse, dust on canvas. And of course, at last, there's people that don't order desserts after their main course. And I order dessert, and then I see their face just looking at it, and the inevitable question comes, "Oh, that looks amazing, could I have some of that?" Of course, to which my answer is, no, you bloody well can't. I came, I saw, I paid for this dessert. There's no way you can have a piece of that dessert. Am I really going to say that? No, not really. It's always like, yeah, of course you can, just go for it. So what do we learn? Parasites eat the whipped cream of your cake. And they can make a living out of it. But look at the positive points of having parasites. If you have a parasite, you're never alone. It's like your pet within yourself. It's your Tamagotchi up your ass. So basically, some research should go inside how you actually could talk to those guys. It's pretty good. You just call him up. But I imagine even if we could talk to him, we would have nothing to say. We'd just like talk about the weather, probably, right? Of course, about £1,000 we'd be talking about the weather. It's like, oh yeah, it's really cold and rainy outside here. How is it down there? You ask Donald. Donald, that's what a tapeworm is called, okay? So and Donald's answer is usually the same. It's like, oh, really nice and warm in here, 36 degrees in the shadow, warm water, Bloody Mary cocktails. But a bit of wind recently gave us 9. Have you eaten chili con carne recently, by any chance? Yeah. So, but don't talk for too long, there'll be roaming charges, although the Schistosomian Union hopes to skip them by 2016. But another thing which now we've entered into parasite politics and economics, short PPE. So one cornerstone of parasite democracy is referendums, just like in Scotland. So I'm doing research on malaria parasites, and they actually make a referendum across the whole population to decide how many parasite households should go into the mosquito. So in human equivalents, that's more how many households should go into a different country to create a new colony, or how parasites pronounce it, colony. Just like George Osborne would pronounce it probably, colony. There's another country that does referendums, Switzerland, and as Luxembourgish people like to do is poking at Switzerland. So I think there's loads of common points with a parasite colony and Switzerland. I mean, just sitting there, you know, so first they are living off the resources of everybody else in the world. So that's sure. And there's a hostile matrix in which they can't survive, so they never leave the country. And third, just like parasites, they're not very much fun. In your face, Switzerland. So again, having a parasite can be really useful. Imagine yourself in an isolation prison cell, which Amnesty International considers as a sort of psychological torture. Imagine yourself on death row, which Amnesty International thinks can be lethal, many times. Wouldn't you be happy if you had like a little parasite with you to share this pleasure? Wouldn't you feel happy about this little extra bit of genetic material that gives you the gut feeling, the gut feeling of not being alone. And of course, if you're really so desperate, a parasite can even assist you in suicide. Just imagine, you pull out Donald, your tapeworm, out of your ass. 18 meter long, stiff 18 protein cord. Put it around the top and you just hang yourself with your parasite. I mean, thinking about it, you can do loads of other stuff with it. So we'll talk about superheroes and comics, and I think the answer to Spider-Man is Tapeworm Man. Whipping nasty chief executive officers of pharma companies or something like that. Good. One other thing we have in common with parasites is the social side. So there's rarely the worm alone inside the gut. No, there's always a couple of them. And even with malaria parasites, they really recognize when there's other genotypes and they modify their behavior in return. So they're really social. And if they could use something like Facebook, they would probably do it. It's called Facebook in their language. So I will talk you through a bit of how such a parasite profile could look like. So it starts off with the profile picture, of course. It's probably just a parasite selfie, duck-faced, in front of your liver. Yes. There's also status updates. The first status update is like, oh, me and my mates just infected our first red blood cell. 20 million parasites like this. There's a difference in scale, you have to think. Another Facebook update. I read recently. So one is, I just downed half a microliter of paracetamol and I nominate schistosome, cestode and gametoside to do the same. And last there's of course, there was a post that said basically, things which probably characterize you when you last infected a host in the 90s. So, and I'll tell you those things. Number one, you still have resistance against artemisinin, which was a 90s drug. Second, your favorite film are Host Alone, which is about a little male parasite who is inside a host and gets left by his parents around Christmas time. And Flytanic, which is about the biggest mosquito that ever existed, and it narrowly hit a window, and horribly, about 2,000 sporozoites died. And third, although I might get the timing not really right, but the favorite song is from the Right Stripes, and it is, I don't know what to do with myself. I just don't know what to do with myself. I'm Philip Birget, thank you for listening.